Kings Lakers tonight in LA. Game 2 for the Sacramento Kings after losing opening night in a tough game against Minnesota. And Morgan, they take on a Lakers team, 2-0 Lakers. They beat Minnesota. Last night, they were down 20 plus to Phoenix, kept battling and won. They are 2-0. And I feel like last couple of years, the Kings have had the Lakers numbers. Last year, they beat them 4-0. But I do not have any type of
expectation.
It's not expectation. I'm just being realistic. Like, this is going to be a tough game. This is not the Lakers of last year.
You heard it here first. Deuce,
what?
I'm just being realistic.
Yeah, this is...
I appreciate it.
If you have not watched the Lakers in the first two games, this team looks a lot different under JJ.
Free-flowing offense. They look confident out there. You know, you already knew what LeBron and Austin Reeves were building together, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, you know, LeBron just makes everyone look better. But Austin Reeves actually looked good as an individual even last night against the Suns. And like you said, being down, 20 plus, whatever ended up being, and finding a way to fight back. And it wasn't just with their offense. It was like they were able to lock in defensively as well. Where I'm excited too, though, because when you do have D'Lo out there, all I do think about is De'Aaron Fox cooking him, you know, and that makes me excited.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the one thing that, you know, with the Lakers winning last night, gets covered up is D'Angelo Russell struggled on both ends. And I think when the Kings had a ton of success last year against the Lakers, LA could not defend the Kings guards. And De'Aaron cooked, averaged 34 a game in those 4 games. In fact, he tied his career high in one of those games with 44 points. He loves playing down there, and I think you're going to get the best version of him tonight. It's so imperative for the Kings to push the pace and then be locked in defensively. I thought watching Phoenix last night, they let their offense dictate how they played. You know, they were knocking down shots.
Oh, my God.
10 of 13 from 3. Like, are they ever going to miss? But then defensively, they were not locked in.
That's a good point, because it was when things were flying and flowing and good, you saw Bradley Beal defensively even getting up and guys being aggressive, using his chest. And I was like, oh, shit, what kind of Bradley Beal do we have? And then once those shots started missing, it wasn't as fun on the offensive end. You're exactly right. It did dictate the way that they came out defensively as well. And I think if you're the Sacramento Kings, how many times we've talked about having to play some, I mean, you can call it perfect basketball, but I just think it's relentless basketball for 4 quarters. And that's on both ends of the floor, because then you look at someone like AD in these first 2 games, 30 plus points in these first 2 games of the season. He's looking like a beast.
35 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2.5 blocks in the first 2 games. And it's easy to watch them and think, oh, it's LeBron's team. No, like, they want this. They have wanted this to be like AD carrying the load for Los Angeles, because LeBron's the oldest player in the league, right? And it feels like JJ Redick's trying to maximize this to the fullest. And AD's off to an amazing start. The AD Sabonis stuff is always fun. It doesn't matter, but Sabonis 11-0 head to head. It's like a thing that Kings fans love to troll the Lakers with. It's funny. It makes me laugh. Yeah. But Sabonis last year against the Lakers, check out these averages. 18.5 points, 17.5 rebounds, and 8.5 assists per game in the matchups against the Lakers. In fact, he had a 16-20-12 triple-double against LA. And that's going to be an interesting matchup. Like, the Lakers do have that size with AD. Rui's been playing with much more force. So, like, Sabonis has to hold his own, stay out of foul trouble. But to me, it's also up to, like, Keegan, you were awesome last game. You had 23 points, 11 rebounds. We're going to need that again.
Well, and that's for the Kings. What they need again, too, is their offense flowing, right? They can't have stagnant basketball depend on one person. You saw that happen a little bit at the end of that game against the T-Wolves when DeMar was taking over. And again, I don't think DeMar was in the wrong or being a selfish player in that moment. It's trying to figure each other out. We're still early on in the season, and figuring each other out is not about who has the ball in their hands, because you're seeing that defenses are willing to collapse on DeMar, on De'Aaron, on whoever's going to the paint, but it's just about everyone still moving, relocating without the basketball.
And I think that's probably my concern, is just like, okay, you're still getting used to DeMar, right? You're trying to fit Kevin Huerter and Trey Lyles back into the mix when they didn't play the entire preseason. Huerter hasn't played in 7 months up until opening night. You played the starters a ton of minutes. There has to be better balance tonight. So you're not playing DeRozan 43 minutes and Keegan 42 or whatever it is. And then on the other side for the Lakers, like they got clowned for running it back, right?
Yeah.
But this group, they know each other. For better or worse, they know each other. They're playing in a new system. But I think this system is kind of like giving them some juice.
I think the system, being inspired by having a new coach like JJ Redick. Again, we're saying this at the beginning of the season. Are we saying something different as the year goes on? We will absolutely see. But right now, it's just like you said, the first 2 games of what we saw from the Lakers they played last night, right? So it's a back-to-back, second night of a back-to-back for the Lakers. How can you make sure you are running the shit out of the basketball on them? You just got to keep pushing because they did that early on against Minnesota.
I'm with you on that. It's like the pace has to be there consistently. Don't have stagnant offense. Keep it moving because when you have the quickest guy in the league in De'Aaron Fox, everyone needs to just embrace that. And I don't think the Lakers want to play that style all the time, especially making them work defensively.
Yeah.
Like put them in some difficult cross matches, get the ball popping and moving, and let's see what it looks like. I think the Kings have the offensive weapons to score on this Lakers team, but the question is, do they have enough to slow down AD, who's on an absolute tear? One other note, people wonder, is LeBron James playing the second night of a back-to-back? Sometimes he'd rest. He said after the game last night, I'm playing, and I plan on playing all 82 this year.
What a
beast! What do you think about tonight's game? I think the Kings got a good chance. I think they play better tonight than they did against Minnesota, and they get the win.
I think they play better as well. You get 1 game under your belt, Deuce. It's a great analysis there. No, I'm kidding.
Let us know what you think. Let us know in the comments below. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast